we will do the functions. So first of all, we will see how to define a function. To define a function, we will write the function keyword and then followed by the function name. I will say fun name is my function name, and then curly braces as we know, and then sorry, after the function name we will write the parenthesis and then curly braces. Within the curly braces will be our code, whatever logic we want to implement. For right now I will just say console.log hello world. This is our function, but functions will be not executed from top to bottom as we know. They have to be called first and then afterwards they will be getting executed. So to call a function, calling a function, we will just write the function name followed by the parenthesis. So in our case, function name is fun name. And this is our small functions. And now let's execute this file. I'll write node, then the file name, and it prints hello world. So this was a very basic definition of a function which we have used earlier also. So now upon this we will do some one more example of basic like this basic function. But now right here we are not passing any value to it. We are not it is just a function on its own. We are not taking any value from outside, all that stuff. So again I will create one function. First of all, function keyword and then the function name. Here I will say cal age. I want to calculate some age. For that, I will take some arguments. Let's say I will take birth year and then curly braces. Within the curly braces will be our logic. Right now there is no logic. All whatever I will do, I will just say console.log and I will say 2020 minus birth year. Now we will call the function, just write the function name and then we have to pass some value to it. Why? Because here this function is expecting one argument here. So the number of arguments have been present here. Those number of arguments we have to pass in calling of the function statement. So here I will pass like 1990. Now if we again execute, it says 30. So this is how we pass the value. But in C and Java, we have seen that we have to use that value again. Means why functions are mostly used? Functions are mostly used so that we can use that part of a code which is within the function again and again, and we can use that value which have been generated by the function or the output of the function, I can say. So what I will do, I will copy this example again, and now instead of console.log, what I will do, I'll write a return keyword. It's a keyword again. And what I will do, I will just write 2020 minus birth year. Now what is happening, whatever the value has been generated, it will come out. It will come out of the function where it is calling. So it is necessary to hold that value. And how do we hold the value? We will create one variable and we will assign this function to that variable. That's all. So here I will create one variable var current age, and then I will say current age is equals to calculate. Again, now I will do console.log and I will print this value. Again, I'm getting 30. And this is how you return the value. With these three concepts, you must be familiar, as these are very basics and these are similar to C and Java also. So afterwards, this comes reusing of a function. As I told you, why functions are used? Functions are used so that we can use the specific code again and again. Reusing the functions. For to reuse the function, I will create a very basic function again. Function and I will give the function name as calculate age again. Calculate age, it's already there, and we will take some value. We are expecting some value, and here I will do return straight away. Return 2020 minus birth year. Now, what I want to do. Till now, we have seen from yesterday and day before yesterday, we are dealing with three persons. That is John, Mike, and Mary. Same goes here. So we want to calculate the age of Mark, John, and Mary. For that, I will create three variables. John, I will say age John equals to calc age, and then I will pass the year. Same goes to Mark, age Mark, and let's say it's something 1995. And then again var age Mary, calculate age 1985. And I can print all of these all together. Age John, and I will print. And we are getting 25, 30, 25, 35. And so that's why we are not, although it's a very basic example, we are writing, or we can do one line of code here also. It is just for example. So like this, you can have many more functions which is doing very complex work, and we can simply call them and do it off. So next example is, till now we are passing only one argument to the function, and we are using only one function up till now. What I will do now, I will use a function from the another function. I will just uncomment this code. What I will do, I will just right now create one more function here until retirement. Now, to find that if the person is eligible to retire or not, what we should know two things. First of all, what is its current age, and then 65 minus its current age. If 65 minus current age is a positive number, it means a person's age is less than 65. But let's say current age is some 70. At the time, what will happen? 65 minus 70, it will give us negative number. And through that, we can get to know. or either we can use a Boolean logic directly. So what I will do, years until retirement, first of all, I should know the age of the person, var age. Instead of calculating the age here, I will be using calc age function. Calc age, and calc age requires an argument, that is birth year. So I will just pass DOB, that's all. And afterwards, I will see if person is able to retire or not. For that, I will do if so what we want to do, we are having the age. Now we should know the retirement age. What should be the retirement age? For India, it's 65, but let's say for some other countries, it can be 70 or it keeps on varying. So I will accept two arguments here, retirement age and date of birth. Why date of birth? Because date of birth is needed by this calcage function. Now what I will do, I will write if retirement age is greater than age, if it is greater, it means log person is not eligible, else log person is now. In order to use this function, we have to call this function. Again, I will copy these, and now instead of passing one variable, that is date of birth, we have to also pass the retirement age. Let's say for retirement age is 65 here, for it's 70, and for it again we will say 55. And I have to change this. So none of them is eligible because all are having the age less than the retirement age. So what we will do, we will just change the age from, let's do 75 or 65 will do. Just console.log what the age is. So still it's, I will make it 45. And now it says person is eligible because its age is greater than 70. That's why. And this is how we reuse the function, and we call a function within a function. calling a function within a function. Second point you have to remember is that you have to pass the arguments in order. So what's the order here? Retirement age and date of birth. So first of all, retirement age should be coming, that is 65 whatever, and then will be the date of birth, that is 1990. If you will do the opposite, what will happen? 1990 will be passed, will be treated as the retirement age, and date of birth will be treated as 65. And with that, our logic will be going wrong. So these two things you have to remember, and you can call more functions within another function. Here you can create one more function and call that function within calcage function. So this is was the brief introduction about the functions. Just make a note of this, create your small examples, and just copy it down. And if anyone have any question, they can ask. Have you guys copied?
Yes, sir.
Everyone? Any questions?
Yes, sir.
No, see, if your age is if your age is 20 right now and retirement age is 65, how come it should be eligible? It should be greater. Person's age should be greater than the retirement age. At the time only, a person should be eligible for retirement, right? You want to increase the pairs or it's fine the way I'm going on?
You can increase the pace, sir.
Okay. So now we will do something different, which is not practiced in other programming languages. So what exactly is function declaration? Function declaration is something we write the function and then we write the function name. This one line of code, this line is known as function declaration, right? But now we will see something about function expressions. What are function expressions? So what exactly is the expression? Yesterday I told you yes, expression is something which has some assignment operation. That is, we put equal to sign. Let's say var what to do, and then I'm writing, let's say 2. So this is a function this is a expression, not a function expression, just a expression. Why? Because it is having this assignment operator, which means that 2 will be assigned to what to do. Now instead of a value, we'll be assigning a function. How we will do? We'll write the function. Now we'll be, after the function, what we write? We write function name. Now here, what we have to do, as it is a function expression, we will not write its name. We will directly write the curly parenthesis and then the curly braces. Within the curly braces will be our code. So this is known as function expression. Now thing is, if it's a function expression and this is a how do we call this? So main thing what you have to remember, you have to treat this variable name as a function name. And if this is a variable name, if this is a function name, if you are treating as a function name this variable, we can call this function. I will again say hello, and I will write what to do, parenthesis, and then execute, and it says hello. So this is something different which other programming languages are not having, and the reason you will get to know afterwards when we will do React. And it's very powerful, means why you are using the function expressions. So again, second thing what you have to remember, that if this is a function, we are writing a function, but now it's without a function name. If some function is without any function name, we call it as anonymous functions, means functions which are anonymous, which doesn't have any name. So this part will be called as anonymous function, but collectively we will call it function expression. Now here what I will do, I will comment this code and paste it here. Now how to pass arguments in function expression? It is exactly the same as the normal function. Here I will accept one parameter, let's say job, and second argument, first name. I will just say name here. Now, within a function, we have not done anything much complex. So here we will be using a switch statement. What I will do, I will write the switch and I will take this job parameter, what have been passed to us, and I will again do case A. I will just say A colon. After the colon, I will say log A. That's all, nothing new. I will write the break keyword because I don't want our cases to be mixed up. Case B. Or simply I will write just B log B. And last, not the least, we write the break keyword. Our default case, in default case we're writing again log default. Although I passed the name variable, we are not using anywhere. What I will do, I will just copy it here. Now, we are calling this what to do function expression, and this function is taking 2 arguments. So it is necessary for us to return those arguments. So what I will do, I will just write here A, job is A, and name is Mark. Let's see if it is working or not. And Mark is a string, so I have to wrap it around single quotes. And now it says A Mark. I should have given some space so that like this. Now, second thing, how do we return? Now it's a function expression. This is also quite simple to return. What you will do, you write the return keyword and then you will write A. Like this. And I will copy it down here, here. But just see one. As soon as we are writing the return keyword, our break keyword, which have been highlighted, is no more getting highlighted. And the reason is because as we know, return keyword. What return keyword does? It takes the cursor, our pointer, whatever it's there, out of the function. So as soon as this condition will get executed, this A is equals to A, case A will be getting executed. We don't have to write the return key. We don't have to write the break keyword, because automatically what will happen, our pointer, whatever cursor, it will take us out of the function. So no more confusion of the break keyword. So we can omit it here. Let's see if it is working or not. And it's working. Our case B and default is not getting executed. Okay. So just copy down. It's a and try to understand. If you're not getting, I will explain you again. from here to here. Copied or still copying?
Done, sir.
Still copying, sir.
Others? Okay. Once done copying, let me know. Okay, those who have done finished copying, tell me what should be the output if I just call the function without any argument passed to our function expression. What should be the output?
Default, sir.
Default. Okay. Anyone else?
But sir, the function requires arguments.
You mean to say it should give an error?
Yes.
Okay. Everyone finished copying? Let me know once all of have finished copying. Just type in chat box or just say it done.
Yes, sir.
So now we are having this function expression. It's taking two arguments here, and then instead of passing arguments, I'm just calling it like this simply, and I will run it. So what is happening? It is going to default case, and now name is coming as undefined. Can someone tell me why it's undefined?
Because we didn't pass any arguments.
Yeah. How about I will pass A. Now what should be the output?
Case A.
And it says A and name is undefined because we have only passed one argument. We have not passed other argument. So if you would have seen in C, if you would have done like this, it will give you an error because C is very strictly typed language. It's not at all dynamic, which means that if function is expecting two arguments, you have to pass two arguments. It will not assume second value as something. It should have that value. And this is the flexibility of JavaScript, and it's quite much in use also. So after doing function expressions, just make a note of this also. Passing calling a function without any arguments. After doing this, we will move on to arrays. And arrays are something which you will be using very more often. So what are arrays actually? Arrays are nothing. It is used for collecting homogeneous data. Homogeneous means same type of data. But again, as our JavaScript is dynamic, it's very flexible. We don't have to do it. We can just use it. We can just have a random data types within a single array. Because at last, for array also, we will just using a var keyword. Arrays. First of all, initializing. Let's see how to initialize. Initializing the array. A very common way you must have known var names. I will say we'll write a square brackets. Within the square brackets, we will write Mark, Jane, and last not the least, Mary. So this is a very common way which you must have known. But second way, although it is not in use, but you should know. At some places, you have to use this one also. So I will say var years, and now I will say new. What is new? New is a keyword. New array and parentheses. So what is an array? New is a keyword which is defined in each and every programming language, And new simply means it will create a new instance of that thing. So here it will create a new instance of type array. Make sure that A is capital. Now within this, the parenthesis, we can pass our values. Again, I want to be a number. 1980, 1995. And these are the two types, the way you can initialize an array. And we are doing it right because we are not getting any red squiggly mark here, else we would have. If we will do some syntax error, we will get some red mark. Let's do it here. And it says semicolon expected, although it's not a good explanation why this error is coming, but from this you will get to know what type of mistake we are doing. After initializing the array, next comes how can we extract the values from an array, how to output. Let's say I want to output J and I want to output 1995. So anyone can tell me how, what should I write? Console.log. In console.log, I want to output J. What should I type here from an array? So the way you extract the value is simple. We will write the array name. Our array name is names here. Now, as we know that array starts from the index 0. So Mark is at index 0, Jane is at index 1, and Mary is index 2. So I write the names, square brackets. Now within the square brackets, I will give the index number for the value which we want to extract. So I write 1 here. And if I print it out, we will get J. Similarly, we will extract the 1995 from the array years. Guru, can you tell me how to extract the value 1995? What we should type?
Array of 2, sir. Years of 2.
Years of 2. Years
2.
And we are getting 1995. Now comes something else. What is? I will just mutating the array. Mutating the array. Mutating simply means changing the array. To change the array, what I will do, let's say after Mark, I want to introduce one more character. Let's say Alex. So I want Alex should be between the Mark and the Jane. So Mark is at index 0 right now, correct? Sorry, I'm so sorry. I want to change the Jane to Alex. What I will do, I will simply write names at index which we want to change the value, mutate the array. I want to mutate the array at index 1. And then I write Alex. Now, if I want to print my whole array, I will simply write the array name without any index number. Now, if I print it out, and it says Mark, Alex, and Mary. So this is how we can mutate the array. We can change the data. We can change our array. So positioning the array, like what I said, Alex should come between the Mark and Jane. That will come afterwards. So this is how we mutate the array. Second thing, how do we find out the length of an array? Finding length of an array. Can you tell me one simple case? How can we find out the length of an array? How do you find out the length of an array in C?
We can use the length method.
No. In C, I'm asking a traditional way. How do we find out? Means old way, how we used to find out the length.
Traversing through the array, sir.
What?
Traversing through the array.
Yeah, so what we can use a loop, right? We can go through the loop, we can do, or we can use a while loop also. What I will do as he says, with the length method, we will go with the length method. Why? To simply cluster our whole code. What I will do, I will just write, first of all, I will create one variable. Let's say var length of array. I will say names, array name, and then the length property, as simple as that. That's all. And it's a property. Just make sure when I'm saying a method and when I'm saying a property. If I'm saying a method, it means that it should have this parenthesis. Parenthesis can be empty or it can have some arguments. When I'm saying a property, it will not have any parenthesis. And if it is not having any parenthesis, it means we don't have to pass any argument. I can just do console.log length of an array. As simple as that. Now, you know how to now what is the length of array of names? It is 1, 2, 3. So length will be 3, but last index will be 2. Don't get confused between the index and the length. Length will be not 2, it will be 3. Now, can someone tell me, I want to introduce the character Alex at this position, that is after Mary, using the length property. I can also do like names. I can also do like names at index 3. I need Alex. Okay. And if I print it on my whole array again, log names. And it is giving me Alex at the last index. But I don't want to do it like this. I want to add the character Alex using the length property of an array. So can someone tell me how to do? Code is in front of you. You can, it's just you have to think a bit. Just make a guess. Anyone? Even if it's wrong, it's fine. Gautam, you want to say something?
No, sir, I don't know.
Krishna, Lakshmikant, Chetan. So, just see. Here I'm saying, if you want to mutate an array, what we should have two things. First of all, the name, array name. Secondly, we have to provide the index number. So I will write names. Then we should use length property somehow to introduce the character Alex. So we know length of an array is 3. It's 3. So what I will do, I will write again length of array dot length. And afterwards, I'll write Alex. And if I do again console.log names. what you can do, just so we know names.length will be giving us 3, and we want at index 3 only we will need Alex, and this is how you can introduce the character at with the help of length operation, right? After coming the length, next comes some more functions about the array property. So as I told you, it's quite in arrays are flexible. We don't have to use homogeneous data type. So I will create one variable like array1, and here I will pass Alex. I will pass a state of year, birth of year. He is a teacher, let's say, and let's say he is not married, so false. So this is how we can use a different data types within an array, and it will not give us any error. Now we have seen how to introduce the element at the last index, because length will be always the last index. There is one more method which you can use. Adding, just hold on guys. Now what we will do, we will add an element at the end of an array with the help of a method. Adding the element at the end of an array. So either we can use the length property, or simply what we can do, we will write array name again, and this, as soon as you put the dot operator, you can see various functions which you can use. Say length, push, join, for each, filter, all this. You should after the class you should go ahead and see all these functions. How to and how you can check, you can just simply click any one of them. So what you can do, once this toolbar, this dialog box appear, just press Control and the space. As soon as you will press the Control and the space, along with these properties, the description of these properties will come off, and then you can scroll up and down with the help of arrow operator, arrow keys. And this is how you can read all these things. Append a new element to an array and returns the new length of an array. Okay. So it's append a new element. So appending is always done at the end. So I will write the push. Then after the push, it says, this dialog box says that within the push, we need to pass some argument. Now, that argument is nothing but an item, and that item can be a string, number, boolean, or array in itself, or anything. So here, I will just pass some string itself. I will say, I just like Mr. like this. And now again, if we console.log our whole array1, and I will just Now it says Alex, 1990 teacher, false, and the Mr. So Mr. has been printed at the last. But how about if I want to add an element at the beginning of an array? So at the time, what I will do, we'll use another operator, adding the element at the starting of an array. For that, again, I will use array name dot operator, and here you can find it out. But I already know it's something known as unshift, and it's a method again. This is element to insert at the start of an array. Again, it takes an argument as a item, and that item can be a string, number, or boolean, or any other data type. And here also I will say Mr. Afterwards, I will just print it out and say, and Mr. is at beginning or is at beginning. Just see here, Mr. is here, but not at the end. This is because we are just pushing the element. We are not saving that element again. And secondly, it's committed out here. If I do like this now you can see Mr. is at beginning also and at last also. So these were the two functions. Now let's come to removing. How can we remove the element? Removing the element from the end of an array. Removing element from the end of an array. To remove an element end of the array, again you will write that and then just a pop. As you are removing the element from the end of an array, you don't have to provide any argument because it will automatically go through the array and takes out the last element and print, and that's what. Again, I will do pop. So what will happen? It should remove the last two elements, that is Mr. and the false. Let's check our array. And yeah, it has removed the false and the Mr. But how about removing the element from the starting of an array? Removing the element from starting of an array. To remove the element from the starting of an array, we will write array name and shift. Here we will use the shift, not unshift. Again, you will not pass any argument because it will automatically remove the first and Mr. is gone. And this is how you can remove. Next comes a new method which we will be using ahead. That is known as index of. What I will do, I will just comment out this array again and I will create a new array. I will say var numbers, and here I will pass the numbers as 1, 20, 21, 22, 23, 24, and 25. Directly I will do console.log here, and within the console.log I will do numbers. Numbers is our array name dot index of. Let's say what index of does. Index of method returns the index of the first occurrence of the value in an array. Index of. So what it does, it will check the occurrence of an element which will be passing here. Let's say 21. and I will console.log execute. And it prints out 1. What does 1 means? So I'm searching if 21 is present or not. If it is present, index of method will give us the first index of it. Let's say we are having 21 here also. So still it is giving us 1 because it will always give the first occurrence. It will not give some other occurrence. I will copy down this, and now I want to check if 30 is there or not. And this is -1. So what does it mean? If you want to check if some variable or some value within an array is present or not, you can use index of. If the value is present, your value will be 0 or greater than 0. But if that value is not present, it will give us -1. And this is how you can check if some value is present or not. Last or not the least, we will be using a ternary operator. Just making you familiarity with the ternary operator because we will be using it. What I will do here, I will say var title. I will go through this array I've commented out. Numbers dot index of '20. So if 20 is present within this array, what will happen? It will give us a number which is 0 or greater than 0. I will say it should be greater than -1 because we know -1 will be always printed when index is when that value is not there. If this is true, I will say log. No need to log. Present else not present. And here I will change to now. Now if I do log now, and this is present. If I go to 200, it will give me not present. So ternary operator, you can use it anywhere. So this was quite a lot. Now I will be giving you one problem. And what's that problem? It's quite simple. So you have to create a separate new file, challenge3.js, and there you have to solve this example, solve this challenge. So what exactly the challenge is? John and his family went on a holiday, went to 3 different restaurants. The bills were 124, 48, and 268. To tip the waiter a fair amount, John created a simple calculator as a function. So now you also have to make use of function. He likes to tip 20% of the bill when the bill is less than $50, 15% when the bill is between 50 and 200, and 10% if the bill is more than $200. In the end, John will like to have 2 arrays. You have to make use of concept of arrays also, containing all 3 tips, one array, and second array containing all 3 final paid amount, that is bill plus tip. To calculate the 20% of the value, simply multiply 20 by 100, that is 0.2. So this challenge should not take more than 50 minutes. Try to do within 10 30. 11:30, sorry. Anyone have any questions up till now? Any doubts? No one? Okay, carry on. Who all have done? Send me the photo on WhatsApp or share your screen. I want to see each and everyone's code, whatever you have written. So start sharing your screen one by one. So you have what you have done, you have created one function, tip calculator, bill amount. If the bill amount is this, return this. If bill amount is return. Okay, scroll down. Var bill is this, tip amount 0. Tip amount 0, tip bill 0. Okay. Total is bill 0. So tip amount, total. Very good. But how can you, I want to ask, means here you can see 18.59999.60. Can you this concatenate it like only 2 decimal places? It should display only till 2 decimal places, not much. So try to figure it out till the time I see others. Very good. Next one. Shreya has sent the code. Bill amount, if this. Bill 1. New array, bill 1, bill 2, bill 3. Okay. She is also done. It's also correct. You can do it like that. Others? Dikshit, Chetan, both of you show your output. Be fast. Hello. Guru, yours output.
Doing, sir.
Okay, how much done?
5 more minutes, sir.
Okay, fine. Chetan,
Sir,
you never answer, you never show your output.
yes,
Yesterday also you have not shown.
I have share in 2 minutes. I will send the picture.
Okay. And Dikshit, you?
I'm trying to send, sir.
Okay. Who else is left? Only 6 of you. Others, where they went? Lakshmikant, Lakshminath, or Kant? They were listening to my class. As soon as I gave them problem, they went off. If they, okay, you are using arrow function. Chetan,
Sir?
I'm waiting for your output.
Yes, sir.
So Dikshit knows JavaScript already, right? You know already JavaScript.
Yes, sir. I'm familiar with that.
Okay. Be fast. Okay.
Sir, I have
Send.
sent the picture.
Yeah. The calculator. Where is the total amount? Total amount should be tip plus the bill. You have not done the secondary part, right?
I think,
It's
yes, sir.
what you have done. Tip one.
I did off only, sir. But after that, I didn't saw the question.
Okay. So we will move on and I will show you mine way, how we have done. So what we have done, I've created one function where we will be calculating the tip. So I'm getting the bill here, and what bill I'm getting the bill amount here. Then I'm doing the var percentage. It is just I'm taking, just see. Then afterwards, if bill is less than 50, then percentage is 0.2 as we know. If it is between 0.15, I have not directly calculated it as you people have done. And then what I'm doing percentage into the bill here. So this is our one array where all the bills are there, 124, 48 to 68. Afterwards, to calculate the tip, we have to call this function. So how I'm calling? Function name, and then in argument, I'm passing the index, first index, second index, third index separately, right? And as I'm returning, instead after once the function has been called, whatever the value is there, it will be returned here. So tips, our tips array will be clustered up once this calling of function has been done. Now to the calculate the final value, what I am doing, I am just taking the index 0, bill set index 0, and tip set index 0, bill set index 1, tip set index 1. And then last node the list, I'm just outputting both the arrays. That's what question says. So quite simple, and most of you have done. I don't know why those people left off as soon as I gave the challenge. Now we will be coming to the a very important topic, that is objects and its properties. Objects are something which we'll be using very often. Most of 80% of the times we'll be using the objects only, and you will get to know the why we will be using objects so much, because objects is so much power. First of all, what is an object? Object is nothing but object is of key value pair. It will be having a key, and key will be having a value. So it's a key value pair. Something same like dictionary in Python. We are having in Python, we have something known as dictionary, and there also we use key and a value, So how do we declare an object? To declare an object, initializing, I will say, initializing an object, I will say var creating a variable obj equals to sign and curly braces. As soon as curly braces comes, it means it's an object. Okay. And second way how we can do it is with the help of new operator. So we will say var object1, and here I will say new object, and within it we can pass out values. So these are the two ways. Again, second way we don't use very often, but you should keep in mind that you can create an object with the help of a new operator also. Afterwards comes how we can put our values inside an object. I will comment this out. And here I will do putting values inside of an object. Krishna, you were not there, right? When I asked this problem challenge. Lakshmikant, you were also not there when I gave you the problem. You just went off. And Krishna also. This is not the proper way, right? If I am giving you some challenge, you should solve that and you should show it. Have you guys done? Lakshmikant.
Sir.
Then.
Hello, sir.
What?
Hello. Hello.
I want both of you to send the this challenge solution after the class. Take some time, and by 12:15 you just send your code pick. Okay.
Okay.
I will just paste that question in the WhatsApp group.
Okay, sir.
And don't do from the next time.
Okay, sir. Sir, there is some connectivity issue, sir.
I can't hear.
There is some
Can you pick
connectivity
one?
issue, sir.
What?
There is some connectivity issue, sir. Yeah.
Oh, okay. But as soon as I gave you the challenge, you just went off.
So no, sir. But I was there, sir.
Okay, fine. Okay, so some of you were not able to see my screen. So after the challenge, we are doing objects and its properties. And objects are something which you will be using very often, so understand it very carefully. So what is an object? Object is nothing but a key value pair, something same like dictionary in Python. You will be having a key and key will be having a value. Now, how to declare an object? To declare an object, you will write the var keyword, a variable name, and then the curly braces. Okay. And second way to create an object is help of a new keyword. That is var variable name, or an object name, I will say object1 equals to new object. Make sure that it's capital, not small o. And this is how you create two objects. You can create an object. Now, once we create an object, we have to put some values to an object. How we do it? First of all, again var object, and I will say curly braces. Just make sure that I'm writing a small o. So it's not a syntax error, it's nothing wrong. But if I will capital O, it's wrong because capital O object, it's a method, it's an inbuilt method, and we can't use it. But if you're writing small o, there will be nothing wrong. Now I said object will be having a key and a value. Right now key can be a name, and I will say mark. I will say age 20 and job teacher. Second thing you have to remember is key should be unique, which means that you can't write age 2 times. It should be different, but value can be same. If I'm writing 20, no issues because value can be same, but key should be different. Second thing, after each key value pair, you have to put comma at the end, except the last one. So like this. So this is how you create an object. Now, as in arrays, we are having heterogeneous data types. It means that we can have any type of data type within an array. It should be not homogeneous. Same goes for object. I will create one more object, var John. I will say John. And here I will create the name equals to John. Is married, false. You can also have arrays within an object, and you can simply write like this. So you can have array. Now comes, how about functions? Can we have functions within an object? And yes, we can have functions within an object, but functions within an object are called methods. So you have to remember, if you are using some function within an object, you will not say it's a function, you will say it's a method. So I will say calc age. Okay, I will say calc age, and then I'll write a function within it. How? With the help of function keyword, and then comes the function name. But same, as you can see, we are not writing a normal function. It's a method. It's a within a method, and key will be served as a function name. So you don't have to write the function name. Directly you will write the parenthesis and curly braces. Here I will not do much. I will just say log calc age method. So like this you will do. If I do, now we get to know how can we declare an object and how we can put the values within it. Second comes how we can output those values. So first of all, we will output whole of the object. If you want to output whole of the object, you will just write the object names, what you have done in array. If you want to print out all the elements within an array, you will just write the array name. Same goes here. I write the log and object name. Object name is John. And now I will print it. Node functions.js, and it will give us nice representation. So key is John, the key is name, and the value is John. Is married false. Calcage, just see here, calcage is a key. Now what type of value it is having? It is having of type function. It is of type function. And what is the name of the function? Name of the function is calcage. As I told you, it will take this key as a function name. So it says calcage is a function and its function name is calcage. Now you can see calcage is shown here like this. It's not giving us console.log. It is not executing this function, I will say. So now we will see how we can extract individual values. Let's say I don't want all of this array. I'm only interested in the name. I want to know what exactly the name of this object. So I will say log console.log John, and in arrays, how do we extract a single value? We use the square brackets. Within square brackets, we give the index, right? But as it is an object, we will use a dot operator. Now, as soon as you write the dot, whatever the values are defined within this object, we can see. We can see the name, we can see is married, we can see the numbers, and we can see calcage at the top. So you don't have to see it also. Visual Studio is quite intelligent, and it will ask us what type of property we want to extract. I will say name and semicolon. If I print it out, I will get John, only the John. So key value, all these key value pairs within an object are called properties. These are properties. Again, you will not say key or the value, you will say property. Name is a property, is married is a property, and name number is also a property. So we saw how we can do it. But I don't want to do it like this. There is another way, log. But this is the most preferred way. Now, I will extracting the name John in a different way. I will write the John. Now, I will write the square brackets. Now, make sure that in arrays we used to pass the index. But here, all these keys are treated as strings. Although we will not write single quotes or double quotes, but all these keys are treated as strings always. So I'll write a single quotes here. And again, as soon as you will put the single quotes, it will ask us what type of property we want to extract. I will say name. And if I print it out, I will get the John and John 2 times. If I do is married, and we can write this. Next comes how we can execute a function within an object, that is a method. How we can execute an method. Again, I will say log, and here I will say John dot LH. And now, as we are calling, as we have to execute a function, we have to call it. And if you are calling, you have to put parentheses. And now we can see undefined. This will come to it afterwards. Why it is giving us undefined. But like this, we call our method within an object. After seeing how we can call, next comes how we can change the values. Let's say I want to change the value from John to Mark. As we have done in arrays, we will take that index number and change it. So here also I will do John dot name. Now we are mutating an array. We are changing, and I will say mark. Again, console.log John. And now name has been changed from John to Mark. And this is how you can do. There's one more way you can extract the properties. Let's say I'm creating one var x, and here I will say numbers. I'm just making sure that this numbers is equals to this number. It's exactly the same. Log. I will say John, and I will pass the x. Even though we are not writing, but x is of type string because we are passing a string. And if we again do it, we can see 1, 2, 3 here. So we have seen how we can cluster our object, how we can output it, and how we can change whatever we want. And we have seen 2 ways how we can create an object. Now let's create an object like this. Second method, var Mary equals to new object. Now I will be printing Mary. Tell me the output. I have created an object and I'm outputting the Mary. What it should print? Don't execute. Just tell me. Just guess and tell me. I'm not able to hear. Can you a bit more loud? Chetan, can you tell me the output? What should be the output? Line number 185. Anyone? Guys, please respond. Shreya, what should be the output? Empty object. That's correct. So if we do, it will give us a curly, just a curly braces will be printed because there is nothing within an object. So just revise whatever I have told you today. Tomorrow at the beginning of the class only, you will get one coding problem, one more challenge regarding objects in the function. So till now you have learned a lot, especially today, all about the functions, main things. Just try to execute a small problems now on this so that you can be familiar with JavaScript. Before leaving, we will do one more last thing. What I will do, I will create a object one more, let's say mark, and there date of birth of year, year of birth, I will say 1990. And I will say current year. Current year equals to 2020. I will say calc age, and I will create this as a method function. Now, what I want to do here, I want to calculate the age, and that age variable should be, then automatically after should come like this. Age should be equals to this, something like this. I want something like this, but it should come after the age has been calculated by the function. For that, there is something known as this keyword. Right now, just think this keyword is like it is used for creating a variable, creating a property within an object. Afterwards, there is some advanced use of it that we'll be doing tomorrow, I guess, itself. So I will say this dot age equals to sign. Just to make sure that we are within the function now. We are no more within an object. So you will write equals to sign. I'm saying this dot age here, this refers to this mark object. So this dot age equals to this dot current year minus this dot year of birth. Okay. If I do console.log of mark, you can see year, current year, and the calc age. But we are not able to see this age property here up till now, like the way I want. So what I will do, first of all, I will execute this method. And to execute this method, first I have to call an object, because this method is within this object known as mark. So mark dot calc age. And as it's a method, we have to put the parentheses. Once it's done this, I will again console.log mark. Now if we see, you can see something. Year, current, initially from the line number 198 is exactly the same. We are not able to see this. But once we have executed this function, what has happened? Age property has been added. How it has been added? It has been added by help of this method. So if you want to dynamically create some property with the help of a method, you write this keyword, and this refers to this object. We are within this object. So I'm saying within this object, nowhere else, only within this object, create a property known as age, and there put this value. What should be the value? This means within this object, there is a variable known as current year minus this dot year of birth. And that's how it is getting executed. So it's something like this: age equals to 2020 minus 1990. But as we are within this method, we have to write we have to make use of this keyword. Got it? So that's all for today. Tomorrow, as soon as you will be coming, you have to solve a coding problem. And don't be late. If very few people are there, I will be giving that coding problem in between the class. So you have learned a lot. Start practicing. And it will be better if you will start creating some small games. Small games, as in you can create a tic-tac-toe game, or you can create a rock scissor paper game with the help of a JavaScript. Or you can create small games. You can look at it on Google. but try to create on your own without seeing the solution. Okay, thanks a lot. Any questions anyone is having?